What if he doesn't follow through the promises that he made to the crypto industry? Wouldn't it be catastrophic?
No, I mean, look, that's always a risk, but I just don't see it given the administration, the people that he's brought in. Starting with Elon Musk, and then of course down at Treasury, Scott Bessent and other people, the vice president. They've all, have said that they're pro crypto. The head of the SEC, and I presume throughout the government, will have people who want to create an environment in the U.S. where companies, businesses, protocols, founders interested in building, whether it's on Bitcoin or other blockchains or doing things within the digital asset ecosystem, whether it's Web3, NFTs. I mean, I think they see that that value in the future will be represented digitally, and that the United States should be at the forefront of this.
트럼프는 당선 전부터 비트코인에 대해서 많은 정책을 계획했지만 정작 당선 첫날에 비트코인 관련된 언급과 행정 서명이 없어 실망 매물로 급락을 하기도 했는데요. 덴타피에로는 트럼프 정부와 일론 머스크가 먼 미래의 가치가 디지털로 표현될 것이라고 판단하고 있고 미국이 이를 주도할 계획은 변함이 없다라고 생각하네요. 영상 이어서 보시죠. 잠깐 코인앤드류 채널 하단 더 보기란을 누르시면 앤드류 실전 투자 매매 내역과 관점 커뮤니티 그리고 제가 만든 AI 투자 챗봇까지 무료로 체험해 보실 수 있습니다.
Now I want to talk about Elon Musk. So you are a big fan of Elon Musk. He is going to be part of the Trump's government as the head of the DOGE, so the Department of Government Efficiency, which is going to be dealing with cutting unnecessary government spending. There has been a lot of concern because if you cut too hard the expenses of the government, that could have a negative impact on markets. Isn't it a concern of yours as well?
No, I think radical efficiency, which improves productivity, is a net positive for GDP. So that's what I suspect will happen if there's some fiscal tightening broadly that happens. I think that'll end up being positive for the dollar as well. And that potentially will allow the Fed to lower interest rates. I see this situation where tremendous capital inflow into the U.S. There's no government that in the world that I'm aware of that is as activist and pro-capitalist, pro-business, pro-efficiency as the U.S. So it should lead to productivity gains, which eventually will end up to higher, corporate profitability. So good for the market, good for the dollar, good for interest rates going down, and then good for long-term fiscal sustainability.
트럼프 정부와 일론 머스크의 극효율주의, 즉 엄청난 예산 삭감이 기업의 순이익으로 이어지면 일자리도 늘어나고 자연스럽게 금리도 내려간다라는 말인데요. 시장에서 금리 인하, 즉 막대한 유동성의 힘보다 더 호재는 없겠죠. 코로나로 인한 초저금리 시대에도 막대한 유동성의 힘으로 시장이 크게 올랐었습니다. 다만 돈이 한번 크게 풀리면 긴축 재정을 통해 다시 돈을 회수하고 약세장이 옵니다. 시장은 항상 이를 반복했죠. 이제 대망의 이더리움과 비트코인에 대한 그의 의견을 들어보시죠.
I wanted to ask you about your opinion on Ethereum. So a lot of people are saying that Ethereum is dead because of the poor performance in 2024. It has been underperforming Bitcoin for over 2 years already. Well, it seems that you have a bullish view on Ethereum and you think that Ethereum will come back in 2025. Why do you think so?
Yeah, I mean, I've been positive pretty much the whole way, and I've said so on Twitter, and was bullish at 300 and 600, and when it dipped down to 1,200, 1,300, 3,300 is a pretty high price. I think it's doing well. I would say Bitcoin and Ethereum are the core assets of the digital asset ecosystem. They have achieved network effect. They have the largest on Ethereum, the largest number of programmers that are working on top of ETH. It's the most, alive. I mean, some people would argue Solana. I think Solana is just a little younger. It's trailing behind Ethereum in its development. And if you look at the prices as well from inception, I think what Ethereum is doing is just completely normal. And what Solana is doing following Ethereum is also quite normal. Those are the three I think that are, the core assets. Solana is probably transitioning to that. But I mean, Ethereum is a very well developed ecosystem. I don't see, it'll have its ebbs and flows, but and nothing has proven a better smart contract platform that we've seen. So look, people in the space are just very impatient. Markets do the most that they can do to frustrate the greatest number of people. And that's how markets work.
Just a quick final question. Where are we now in the cycle? And what is your Bitcoin price outlook for 2025?
We just broke the all-time highs of 21. So they were like 68, 70,000. So we broke 68, 70,000 on Bitcoin, then we went up to 100. And I said months and months ago, and I even said weeks ago, that markets like to stop at big round numbers. And we're going to spend some time chopping around 100,000. I still think that that's my view. It could be days, weeks, months. I don't know. 100,000 on Bitcoin seems to me to be like the biggest of big round numbers. If you've owned Bitcoin for a long time, or you bought it in 2019 at 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, a lot of people are sitting on very, very large gains here. And some of those people will want to go out and buy a new house or a car or do something else. I don't know. So I think you have a natural 100,000 was a natural profit taking place for many, many people. So I think we're here for a little while. Could, as I said, months of just sideways chopping about, and you can feel the angst a little bit on Twitter, on X, right? People are like, oh, I read a story today. The Bitcoin highs for the bull market are in. So I highly doubt that a mere, 40, 50% rally above the previous highs is the end of this bull phase. I think we're resting here. And look, conservatively, I've been saying about 150 to 180,000 on Bitcoin. That's been my sort of conservative view. That would take Bitcoin up to sort of like $4 to $5 trillion in value. I think that's a good place. It could overshoot and head up to 250 though. There is a world where it can go to 250, 300. I think in this bull market, it would be maybe a little tough for me to see it above that. But anybody who's underestimated Bitcoin has lost. So I don't want to be the guy underestimating Bitcoin. My first three funds were called 10T. It stood for 10 trillion. And that's the whole value of the ecosystem. I thought, we were at 300 billion in the middle of 19, and that we could get to 10T, 10 trillion. I think we're going to get to 10 trillion this cycle, right? 5 trillion potentially on Bitcoin, 2 or 3 trillion on the other coins, and then another 2 to 3 trillion on the value of the businesses that are growing up in the space. So I think we hit 10T this cycle. Could be at the end of this year, maybe mid-26. And then I think after that move, of course, we'll have another bear market, just like we did in, second half of 22, 23.
결론적으로 그는 비트코인의 상승 추세는 아직 끝나지 않았고 10만 달러 부근에서 차익 실현 매물을 견디면서 시간을 보낸 후 15만 달러에서 18만 달러까지 도달한다는 의견입니다. 그 이후에는 약세장이 어김없이 올 것이며 경우에 따라 25만 30만 달러까지도 볼 수 있지만 이번 상승장에서는 조금 어렵지 않을까라고 판단하네요. 하지만 언제나 비트코인을 과소평가한 사람들은 손해를 봤다고 하는 건 저도 공감이 갑니다. 오늘도 시청해주셔서 감사합니다.